Hello, Benny Cara once more, coming to you. I do hope you all are feeling all right, I mean, life has been tough, but there is always hope so long as the human faculties happen to be intact and we don't stop thinking, seeking means to both individually and collectively profile solutions to the lingering issues plaguing humankind. Of course, it is said often, and it is true, of course, that any leadership, whether it is within the family system, family setup, whether it is corporate, whether it is municipal government, regional, national, state, federal government, you name it. Leadership is about solution, result. We understand this mantra about democracy, where some say democracy is messy because people who are in charge of government, those who run government, those who make laws, policymakers, they argue unnecessarily. And the reason for this argument or these arguments is simply varying degrees of interest, different interests, influencing those who make laws. Ordinarily, even if it is natural for people to disagree based on the way you see things, based on the way these parties see things, it is obvious in so many cases what's right and should be done. There are things that are just obvious that wouldn't demand too much argument. Because what's good is good. Just like it is said that there is no right way of doing wrong and no wrong way of doing right. What's right is right. If you see homeless people who need help and you are a government, it is right to do what you have to do to change their situation, to give them housing, and put those who need treatment where they should take treatment. Because what I have found out is, about homelessness in the West, especially in the United States, is that the government, the system, they kind of leave the injury. They leave the actual injury, the actual issue, and try to bandage a different issue and wonder why the results are always never obvious. If you have homeless situation and you know that a great deal of those in that system, in that circumstance, happen to have mental issues, one mental issue or the other. So the concentration should be to resolve that mental issue and not to, do other things. Because if you put them in a housing situation and give them certain rules to meet, and the mental illness is there, hampering them, blurring their vision, making it difficult for them to move, for them to do what they were supposed to do, preventing that inner motivation, because motivation is internal. It is to self. It's like self-determination. That inner motivation is not going to be there once there is one mental illness or the other. And in some cases, some people have like multiple. And so you are not going to achieve the best result, because such individuals will not be able to have that required functionality to get the result that the system wants. And so by the end of the day, after about 6 months, 1 year, call it 18 months or 2 years in a housing system, being housed, and they are not able to meet up, being standing on their own, being able to stabilize economically by way of seeking and getting a job and maintaining a job. Because for you to be able to maintain a job and be able to, walk around your finances and other issues around you, including family and maybe friends, and not to talk of the system itself, the complexity of the system. For you to be able to navigate all of that, it needs mental stability. If the mental state is not stable, it is not going to be easy. Especially where the issue of stress and other things happen to be commonplace. And so it is always about result. That is not to say that the government is not getting result. The government is getting result mostly with those who are, those who have not been old in the system. Maybe those who, because things happen. Because as we always say, homelessness is just something that can happen to anybody. It's just a paycheck short away or two, or you losing your job, something happening, and you're not able to meet up, and then you end up finding yourself in that situation. So in such instance or circumstance, if your mental state is intact, of course, that kind of situation can also alter your mental state. It can bring about traumatic experience. It can bring about trauma. The fact that you find yourself not having a place to stay. All right? Especially if the shelves came and pull your things, pack your things and throw your things off on the street because you're not able to meet up and your landlord is asking you to leave, and maybe he has been through the court. the trauma from that, you know, it's not easy to come out of it. But then, insofar as you have that mental intact, you may be able to push through, maybe with help from friends, and you may be able to get through it. May get another job, get any other job that can push you through while looking for a kind of dream or semi-dream job. Because anything that can put money in your pocket is better than not having anything and being on the street. Because, like I said, it's just a paycheck or two short away. Jobs are not guaranteed, not anywhere. And so the government can be successful with people of that caliber. But those who have been in the system and have been traumatized and have become quadruple vulnerable and are further hampered and suppressed by mental illnesses. It is difficult, very, very difficult to get expected result from those people. So what happened in that circumstance is that when the time lapses, because definitely it lapses, 9 out of 10 times they might end up in the street. They might end up in the shelter in such environment. That means the purpose is defeated. If you cannot redeem people who have been done, who have been downtrodden and who need help, if there is no structure, no system to really redeem them, then the government, to a great extent, fails, even though it can succeed with this few percentage that actually pull through maintaining a job because of their mental functionality and so on. But for the most part, those who have been long in the system, they will not be able to maintain it. So what am I saying? Everything about leadership is result. Any leadership or leader, it doesn't matter whether it is in the family, as said earlier, or in the school, in the church, anywhere, in business or in government, anywhere, that results are not achieved in the positive terms, that's a failed leadership, because it is all about results. It is all about results. I decided to pick homelessness because it is an issue that is serious and should and must be given the kind of attention it deserves. it should be treatment first, concentrated treatment first before housing. If you want to achieve the kind of results that you want to achieve, you know? So that's all I have today. Results, leadership, results, leadership, mental functionality, mental capacity, just like general capacity or capacitation, you know? So that is it. Thank you. Bear the carry. Don't even bother to ask me the title of this topic because I was just rambling, of course. Thanks. See you later.